Hello, my name is Alex Bernet, and I'm excited to be joined today by my friend Bruno Herrmann. Bruno, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm great. Thanks a lot for having me once again, Alex.
You bet. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me today. Bruno is the instructor of the Localization Institute's ReadySetGo Localizing Content Class, and we're going to talk a little today about some best practices around creating global content, how AI is rapidly changing the game, and how managing the entire process through global content operations can allow organizations to be more agile than ever before. So let's dive in. So Bruno,
Yeah,
your Ready, Set, Go localizing content class stresses the importance of looking at localization as a true profit driver instead of a purely transactional service delivery practice. What do you mean when you say this, and how does this alter the traditional thinking and methods that global organizations are using when it comes to managing their global content delivery?
that's a great question. And I think that's really what I want to, one of the main things I want to achieve in the class. Um, Indeed, for decades probably now, translation localization have been considered as, transactional or very transactional services, and sometimes even worse, as commodities. And I think that many companies, many people, leading localization operations have noticed that this way of working, being just a supplier or being one of the many transactional vendors, was not always creating or generating, I should say, the recognition and the value that actually localization is creating for the business. So that's why I think it's really crucial, not just from an operational perspective, but from an overall, localization management perspective, to move away as much as possible from this very transactional way of working and make sure that localization gets integrated in the business. Of course, the first thing is to get integrated in the global content supply chain, in the global content services, and also to make sure that when when localization is integrated in the business, it starts actually demonstrating that it creates value for that business. And it's of course, more than just a cost center or cost driver, as some people would say. It is definitely a profit driver. That is, of course, that needs to be recognized and that needs to be, celebrated as such.
Great. Let's look a little deeper at that too. So we're all aware of the staggering recent developments in AI, and it's certainly having an outsized and immediate impact on the translation and localization industries. What do localization teams need to do in order to leverage AI to help elevate and enrich their content localization and actually turn it into the profit driver that you're talking about?
Yeah, and AI from that perspective is a great enabler. And for me, and not just for me, but in general, what I see already today is that, the way AI is used as a feature in the content supply chain can be really accelerating the recognition and the elevation of localization, as I said before. So what I think localization teams should be doing, in addition to, elevating what they are doing and be more integrated, be more embedded in the global content supply chain or chains of their organization, is also to make sure that they can prove that localization goes together well with AI. But I mean that, of course, AI can be used in multiple ways as part of localization operations. But of course, the challenge is to not just say that it can be done, but of course to prove that the combination of human resources in localization and AI as part of technology, as part of operations, can also deliver something better, something faster, and of course it's also a matter of creating value. So I think the challenge is really there to turn the challenge, which is AI, so how to use AI and how to position AI in localization operations, but actually not just to say that AI is going to be, tied or linked to localization operations as a feature, but actually to say that both should be really integrated in this new age of, or in this new framework of content and data services, because now we are definitely in the area of content and data services, and language services will become more and more, in my opinion, in my experience, they will become more and more integrated into content and data services. So localization teams have an opportunity there to not just keep going as they've been doing for the past years or decades, but also to say AI brings an opportunity for us to actually say that, yeah, we can, thanks to this new technology, we can be even more performing, as part of the global content supply chain, but not to deliver just language services, to deliver also data and content services.
So you talk in the class about building and leveraging a content localization technology ecosystem. I really like this metaphor because it's this idea of cultivating a living, a breathing, most importantly, an adaptable infrastructure to support all of your team members that are kind of cohabitating the content creation and delivery space. Why do you like this metaphor, and how can it help an organization to empower both the content and localization teams to become profit drivers?
This is another crucial point for me, and I think it's based on my own experience as well, because I worked in organizations where I would say that the tools and the systems were sometimes well connected or less connected, but they were a little bit, over here, a little bit over there, and there was no unified and centralized tech ecosystem. And for me, that's really something that is critical as part of localization operations. Localization operations should really be powered by human resources, people, workflows, the processes, and technology. And when it comes to technology, my recommendation is to really build or to create a tech ecosystem. Of course, there are multiple cases that can be considered. If an organization doesn't have a content operations ecosystem yet, then of course it's good actually to start with this approach of creating and building with several components that tech ecosystem, so that it's all, as I said before, it's all well unified, all secured, and all scalable. Very important as well. But some organizations already have tools and systems, so the challenge there is actually to bring those tools and systems as components of the tech ecosystem. And I think it's really critical, because when you think about it, yes, people and processes are critical in operations, but the tech ecosystem will be the sort of the foundation to enable people and processes to work together. Will empower people to follow the right processes at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So the tech ecosystem is more than just a sort of vision about unifying and centralizing technology. It's more about making sure that this technology supports all activities along the way. And specifically now that we talk about content and data services, there are a number of new systems, new tools that will have to be considered, depending, of course, on the business and the organization, but really to make sure that those new tools and systems are able to enable people to deliver what they need, or what the business needs.
Great. So the end goal of global content operations is really to reach what you describe as a state of global content effectiveness. How will taking the ReadySetGo Localizing Content Class help people improve their organization's approach to content delivery? Are there actionable frameworks or strategies that they'll be able to implement right away when they return to their teams?
Yes, and this is a crucial point for me. I would really want people to take away some very actionable points, some very actionable frameworks that they can replicate in their own organization. Well, first of all, I refer to LangOps, which is a very important strategic framework, actually, to make this evolution happen. You know, we just talked about elevating and integrating language services to create more value. And I think LangOps is one of the best frameworks I can refer to and I can recommend because it brings really people together. It brings, you know, what people need to do and also what technology, how technology will be enabling, you know, what needs to be delivered. In addition to LangOps, indeed, you're right, Alex. I refer to the concept or the notion of global content effectiveness, and I think that this is very important to go and measure what localization operations are, or simply global content operations are doing. And of course, metrics are important. And in this case, when I mention global content effectiveness instead of global quality, it is really to focus on some very important areas of effectiveness, which are production effectiveness, of course, performing activities, vanity metrics, which are also what localization operations are producing, and customer experience metrics. But all these metrics have a foundation which is made of linguistic, cultural, legal, and functional effectiveness.
Sure.
So it's very important to capture that value because, as we said in the beginning of this conversation, it is crucial to demonstrate the value that localization creates in the business and for the business, but also that it's going to be, really clear what needs to be really highlighted when we talk about value and specifically in the new age of content services and data services.
Well, Bruno, thanks so much for taking time to talk with me today about these exciting developments in global content operation and about this important impression class that you're teaching at the Localization Institute. I want to let everyone out there know that the next edition of the ReadySetGo Localizing Content Class takes place on Thursday, May 23rd. Registration's open on the Localization website, and we'll go ahead and put the link to the class in the caption of this video. If you have any questions about the course or for Bruno, please feel free to write to me directly at alex@localizationinstitute.com. I can share those with Bruno at the time. And we look forward to seeing you on May 23rd. Thanks again, Bruno, and to everyone out there watching. We hope everyone has a great day.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruno.